What's up, everyone? This is Coach Julz. I started courtside with Julz about 6 years ago.
So we're going to go over points of emphasis on beating defenders off the dribble. We use a cone and a tennis ball to force our players to work on getting low, to force them to use their offhands and dropping their shoulders. She's going to drop into what we call a split stance, pick up the tennis ball, explode off her back foot, and go by. Good, so as you notice that she split her feet, so both of her feet moved. One went forward, one went backwards, and this creates a lot more power and explosion. This is where you want to be. You want shoulders to defenders' hips. This creates a blocking of the defender. Her hand's there to slap away defenders if they want to go ahead and reach it. And then after this point, we would want them exploding off of this front foot so that back foot comes through. Good. Good. So as you'll see, she stayed low throughout. She picked it up. She keeps her dribble. At first, it's going to be a little slow as you go through. That's fine. Understand that the points of emphasis through this is splitting your feet, is getting that shoulder low and picking up that ball, and then that next step, and that player is staying low throughout. Not necessarily a split stance in the crossover. Her back foot is going to stay stationary, but the idea and the rest of the body is the same. Good, so as you'll see, she crossed over left to right, and she crossed the ball over, and then she stepped. She's got this front foot's really beating the defender. She stayed nice and low, picking up the tennis ball off of the cone, shoulders stay low. So now she'll take that second step through. Good, so she stayed low throughout. It really forces them to keep their hips down and really exploding out of that second step and continue. So now we're going to go over between the legs and using that move out of a split stance, and again with the cone. We're going to go back to getting into a split stance, not like the crossover, but like the original just go move. She's going to start in her left hand. She's going to come back to her right as she goes between the legs, again beating the defender with her foot, dropping her shoulder. Good, so as you'll see, she split her feet. She got that front foot, again, that's the point of emphasis, by the defender. She picked up the ball. Her shoulders are staying low. We want them at the defender's hips, and her hips are dropped. And now she'll take that last explosion step. Good, and you'll really notice she's doing a really good job of not coming up before she's getting into her split stance, but everything is dropped, and that's a huge point of emphasis when you're teaching these things or when you're trying to do them. You don't want to jump up first. That just is added motion and added time. You just want to drop, get those feet hit, and then go from there. So now we're going to go into the next progression, and the next progression would be with what we call a dummy defender. We would put a defender there that's going to give her a high foot. So now she's got to work, obviously being able to observe the high foot and then work with a live body, because you're not going to be going by cones, obviously, in games, but you're going to be going by players. So it gives them the knowledge, the feel to how it would be actually doing all of this with an actual defender. So it would look like this. So right now, this foot is my high foot. So my high foot is the foot that is closest to her, and we want them attacking high foots. Good, so you notice she got by me, okay? Ideally, we want her shoulders a little bit lower. Now there's no ball there to pick up, but her hips are low. She's in that split stance. Okay. Good, so as you'll notice, her shoulders got down. She really beat me with that front foot, and she blocked me off, so I'm not able to reach. When you're attacking high foots, because she really got by my foot, I can't turn and recover as a defender, so that gives her a great opportunity to get by me. So the last progression before we actually have the players just go live would be where, as she's dribbling at the defender, we have the defender wait and then give them the high foot. Again, this forces them to observe, forces them to react off of data that they've observed. It helps them with an awareness ability and being able to really use the skills more in a game situation. So it would just look like this. Good, so as you'll notice that as she started, me being the defender, my feet were squared up to her. And as she was coming at me, I then gave her a high foot. And she did a really good job of getting right on my hip. What happens if the defender does not give me a high foot? What I tell my players is that you just want to attack a foot and then see what they do. And that is called a stunt dribble. A stunt dribble is really a hard dribble and a step at them to make them react. And at that point, she may give me a high foot, so it would look something like this. So as you see, as I attacked it, that right foot came forward. So at that point in time, now I have my high foot to attack. So now I can just get into a go move and attack her hip and attack her back foot. So let's see it put all together. And as I go by. Okay, so